Hello there, this is Lego Dynasty, and today I'm bringing you guys my review of the LEGO Star Wars Jango Fett helmet. It is set number 75408, comes with 616 pieces, and is rated ages 18 and up. Now this set retails in the United States for $69.99 and in Canada for $89.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this review, starting with the box. Taking a look at the box, of course, being an 18 plus set, it has the all black box art with the set front and center, and then a light emanating behind it, this one being blue to represent his blue, armor, which is pretty nice there. You have the sort of Fett insignia here, this logo that also is used by Boba Fett, so that's pretty nice there. Flipping the set around, you can see the helmet again in that position, which looks pretty nice. And you see some images from Attack of the Clones there, along with the dimensions of the set, specifically the height. So from the base of the stand to the top of the rangefinder piece, it's 21 centimeters or 8.5 inches tall. And then here you have the rangefinder down as he's using it to target to use his rocket launcher against an enemy. Here we have the manual, which is a rendered image, though I find the 18 plus style sets manuals look better than the regular play sets. I just think they look a little bit cleaner and aren't as obvious to be rendered images. Taking a look inside, there is some awesome information of of why they chose to do the helmet, about Jango Fett as well. Not a super lot of information, but still a nice amount. And of course, being an 18 plus style set, there is no other advertising of other sets, which I always found kind of interesting, since you feel like you would want to target adults to buy more 18 plus Lego sets, but they would rather cut costs there. So it doesn't really matter, but just something I always note. Here we have the extra pieces I was left with following the build, and as you can see, you have a nice assortment here of different 1x1 tiles and studs, etc. that you can add to your collection for free. Now let's take a look at the Jango Fett helmet, and I have to say, I absolutely love it. I never thought we would actually get Jango Fett's helmet, even though it seems like almost a given, especially for a prequel era helmet, but it just really felt like when they said that the helmet lineup was done a few years ago, that was legit going to be it. And instead, we've gotten now the AT-AT pilot helmet, Jango Fett's helmet, and the Kylo Ren helmet, and I expect we'll get more in the future. I'm really excited. The helmet lineup to me can be endless. That doesn't mean they have to release a new helmet set every year, but I feel like there's always going to be new ones that they can create every once in a while, because there's a lot of cool helmets in Star Wars. And Jango's is no exception. Even though it is very similar to Boba Fett's, it is still quite different. Obviously, most notably is the color scheme being the blue and gray compared to Boba's green and red and black mixed in there. So that's obviously the main difference between the Boba Fett and Jango Fett helmet. But overall, there is some stylistic changes since they have made those helmets. Because obviously building techniques have improved, and they, always want to do better building techniques. And that's something that I always think LEGO does improve. Even in their downscales, like the models themselves are improved each time that they make them. Just, with play sets, some of the downscales do still hinder the set overall. But helmet sets, on the other hand, these display pieces, you're not really going to find hindrance. In fact, I just think it just becomes a much more simpler building experience, but still complex. Overall, though, I absolutely love it. The only unfortunate thing, and it's really, mostly negative because of what the Kylo Ren helmet got, that this set did not, is the fact that none of these parts here are prints. They are all stickers. And again, the Kylo Ren helmet that also has some pretty complex designs got all printed parts. And these ones, I don't know, it almost feels like it's definitely just cost and measure, but it's almost just laziness. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's definitely mostly them trying to save costs on a set like this, but I realistically, these pieces should be prints. Obviously, you can see it's kind of hard to line it up all the way around, because not only are, like, stickers sometimes fickle, but they don't always print at the right angle. So, like, they can be on the sheet but be slightly off, so you can put them on all at the same place and it still won't line up perfectly. So I always put them on as they add them, ask or say to add them, but I really got to change that and just start adding it after the build, because then I can line it up a lot better. Because like some of them I definitely put on slightly crooked, and it's just so difficult to get them off once you put them on that you just leave them. But some of these, I swear, I put them on perfectly, and then right next to it, I put it on perfectly as well, but it still looks off, and that's what I dislike about the stickers. The only printed part is the plaque here, which is like Star Wars Jango Fett, which looks pretty awesome, I have to say there. I do love that the stands itself are still very, very consistent here across the lineups. Like, they're always looking very similar, or if not the exact same, which is awesome. The only play functionality, if you want to call it that, is that you can put down the rangefinder like I showed on the box, just like the Boba Fett one. So that's definitely pretty nice. But other than that, there is no other functionalities with the set. You can't, remove panels to reveal a head inside or anything like that. This is strictly a display piece. Now, showcasing the other Mandalorian helmets alongside Jango's helmet, and you can see, like, especially compared to the Boba Fett helmet, that it's stylistically supposed to be closest to, since obviously they are the same helmet, just recolored. At least I believe that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Boba Fett did have a completely different helmet, because I remember he blew up a helmet during the Clone Wars series, but I'm not sure if that was actually supposed to be Jango's helmet or if he kept Jango's helmet and recolored it. But you also have the Mandalorian helmet, which is going to look kind of similar just because of the gray color scheme, but is a little bit different as well. And you can see some of the different building techniques across them. And I really like that because it really makes them look distinct, but still, they all look like Mandalorian helmets. So that's definitely pretty awesome there. And I really hope we get some more in the future. Obviously, some obvious ones to me would be either a Maul Mandalorian or Gar Saxon helmet. Bo-Katan feels like a given at some point, especially if she does end up being in the Grogu Mandalorian movie. Just feels like something they would do, though again, they probably would need to print some of her parts, and maybe LEGO just doesn't want to do that. And I'm sure there are others, but those two off the top of my head, or I guess technically three, because they could just do a regular Maul Mandalorian, not a Gar Saxon Mandalorian helmet. Also, I guess Moff Gideon's helmet as well, I think could also be a fantastic helmet to add to this, Mandalorian collection that they have now. The LEGO Star Wars Jango Fett helmet, to me, is a great addition to the helmet lineup, and I'm so excited that the helmets are back. Now, it seems like what might happen is they will alternate helmets and dioramas every year. Personally, I think that's just speculation, and we'll see. Like, I feel like what could happen is we could have years where we get one helmet and one diorama going forward. I really don't think they're going to fully get rid of diorama sets. I just think LEGO has made some poor decisions on some of the dioramas and have definitely overcharged them for what they are. So I still hope we get some dioramas, but I really like the helmet sets, and I'm glad to have them back, and this one is no exception to that, as it is absolutely fantastic, incredible looking, and just, yeah, that's all it is. So let me know your thoughts on the LEGO Star Wars Jango Fett helmet in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on it? Are you guys a fan of these helmet sets? And are you happy that they are back seemingly for at least a little, or at least a few more years? Let me know. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.